Man, it's crazy how an idea can actually turn into something that will inspire the future of indie developers, AAA, and the AA as well. Man, so I wanted to make this video because something that caught my eye. I know it's been floating around. You guys already know Expedition 33 or Clair Obscur Expedition 33, made by an ex-Ubisoft developer who decided to leave Ubisoft because he was bored. And I think that is the funniest thing ever. Like, it's one of the funniest, but like it's kind of like a cold way of putting it, because it reminds me of Death Note when Ryu dropped his Death Note into the human world and then was asked later on like why he did that, and he was like, I was just bored. Type of thing. It is so crazy. But we're going to be looking at this article from BBC, from the British Broadcast, I think, Center or something like that. I think that's the name of it. No, it's not a Battle Beaver controller, and it's not the other thing a lot of people want to say. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and go through this a little bit and talk a bit about how this game became, like, again, like one of the most innovative and like creative games ever, and why it did so well. Basically, like what is Expedition 33? A lot of people like to say it's a JRPG type of game, but it's not really a JRPG. A lot of people like to put it as a JRPG. The reason why is because we're used to like games like Final Fantasy, like the ones back then, that were made in Japan. You know, only Japan had those turn-based type of games. Also, this game is turn-based as well. That had a very compelling story. I haven't played it yet, but I've heard it was really, really, really good. And it's also inspired by, like, you know, architecture in France. And it's a place called, I might say this wrong, Lemire, I believe. I like how it's has a lot of inspiration, you know, by other titles and also by like places as well. So just remember, it's inspired. It's not historically accurate or anything like that, because that's been another issue that people have been talking about. Like, people have been arguing that, oh, well, it's not actually showing, it's not actually France, so like they're making fun of France. It's like, no, they said it's inspired. And the thing is, the guy is French anyway. The man is French. Like, I don't get it. So like, how did this whole thing start? So basically in 2020, when we all know, you know, pandemic was happening, and actually video games were on a rise. You know, we had like, you know, social media platforms, Twitch, YouTube, all that was blowing up because everybody was inside. TikTok as well. And basically, I'm going to just say Brosh, because I don't know how to actually say his first name, but Brosh is, who basically said it was bored at their job and wanted to do something different, which I was like, okay, respect. Working at Ubisoft at the time, had an idea for his own project, a role-playing game inspired by one of his childhood favorites, the classic Japanese series Final Fantasy. Now remember, those that haven't played Final Fantasy, like the older ones, it was a turn-based game, and it had very amazing stories that like pretty much all the way up to Final Fantasy, I think it was Final Fantasy 10. I think that was the last time I played Final Fantasy, was Final Fantasy 10. So, and it was really awesome. And then they started doing some other stuff, like now how you see Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth and everything. And it's because Square Enix was like, hey, we're not going to make a like, we're not doing turn-based anymore, because turn-based is just not it, and it's dead. And pretty much Broshire was like, bet, watch me. Crazy thing is that it sold 5 years later, became like an icon, a sensation. Sold 1 million copies in just 3 days, top Spotify viral chart with soundtrack, and even won praise from French President Emmanuel Macron. Like, the first ever game from this studio that he created is getting high praise from the French president. If I am Ubisoft, I would be, I want to say embarrassed, but I would like really look at what's going on in the company itself and like go back to things that worked for the company, right? That worked for the people as well. Like, that's something I would do, because that is, I mean, to get shown up pretty much, it's like, damn, I'd be concerned. They said one of the most remarkable things about the story is how it was made, a tale of random Reddit messages, massive luck, which is quote unquote what people are saying, and an unusual approach to the game development. So like, when they were talking about that, this is where I really want to get into it. When he was doing the recruiting process for his game and for the studio, he posted on Reddit that he was looking for voice actors and actresses, and a person named Jennifer Yen, who was under lockdown in Australia, that says right here, wanted to try out. So so she sent in her recording or her audition, and instead Broach said, you know what, I have something better for you. You should be a lead writer. And so she became the lead writer for the company, which I think is really cool. And then another guy, which was actually very interesting here. Let me go down here for a little bit. Lorian Testard. Again, these guys, like Jennifer and Lorian, do not have any experience in video games at all, like in the industry. And the crazy thing is with Lorian is Broach found him on Spotify. It was like the music is good. It sounds really good. Or not Spotify, I'm sorry, was like on SoundCloud. Found him on SoundCloud, which I thought was amazing. This shows that you do not need to, yeah, it's okay to have LinkedIn, but it's not like your main thing for like looking for talent and people like that. You don't need LinkedIn. Like you can also look on Twitter, you can look on almost any social media platform, including SoundCloud, which I think is really awesome. And how all this stuff worked is because Broach gave them the idea of what the game is going to be, the direction, and pretty much it all flowed together. And it got to the point where even Kepler Interactive wanted to publish the game and funded them. I'm not sure how much money. People are speculating, saying it's $50 million, which is not bad at all. Kepler Interactive was actually so into this, like so invested into this, they actually brought on some actors and actresses. And on top of that, they added more people to the team, which I thought was cool. One of the actors, which is pretty interesting, is Daredevil's Charlie Cox, Lord of the Rings star Andy Serkis, and then video games actor Jennifer English and Ben Starr, which again, people who have been watching Daredevil lately, and then those that have been watching Lord of the Rings, you know, it's really cool to see big, well-known actors coming together and doing voice acting and stuff for a AA game. I was gonna say indie, but apparently everybody's referring it to as a AA. So as a AA game, it's not a AAA or anything like that. And this is their very first ever game. So it's really cool to see that all this stuff is happening. And the crazy thing is, you know, obviously we could see like here on the Steam charts that they are doing well. Yeah, it's single player. Numbers do drop down and everything because it's single player. You know, after when you're done playing it, either you go back through and play the game, or you're just like, hey, I'm going to move on to another game. Usually it's one of those numbers. But what I really want to show is Metacritic. So here's the thing, right? So we're on Metacritic right now. And the crazy thing is this game, Expedition 33, I mean, yeah, you have the Metacritic or the critics review, but it's whatever. Like that's just from like gaming magazine articles and stuff like that. But we want to look at the user score. User score is a 9.7. A 9.7. I don't think there's any other game out there that has a 9.7 rating at all. I honestly don't think there is one. They said that the highest one before this was Baldur's Gate 3. I got a 9.3. So this beat Baldur's Gate, which is awesome. It's awesome to see like games are making pretty much breaking breaking records and stuff. It is really awesome to see this. So this is something that kind of inspires myself and other people who want to make games. It's not like, you know, being in the AAA industry is an end all be all type of thing. I think what it is that this right here shows if you are very passionate about a game or an idea of a game that you want to make, go for it. If you are really heavily inspired by a game and you want to make something like of your own, it's going to take some time. But if you have the passion, if you have the idea of really wanting to make the game, people will follow suit. And who knows, people may invest in it as well. So that's all I wanted to say about this. This is amazing. Again, this person is like Broach is in Sandfall Studios or Sandfall Interactive Studios. They are pretty much the beacon of light right now in these dark times of the gaming industry. So that's all I got for this. Let me know what you guys think about the whole thing with Expedition 33 and the AAA industry. Do you guys think AAA industry is going to take a step back and, you know, think about what they're going to be doing with their future titles? Or do you think it's just going to keep carrying on and possibly indie companies and AAA games are going to take over? But that's all I got. Peace out. Later.